Ora, boa tarde. Neste momento temos 7 participantes. Vamos tentar aguardar aqui mais alguns minutos para que algumas pessoas ainda se possam juntar a nós. Já agora apresento-me, o meu nome é Dora Silva, sou conselheira EURES aqui em Portugal. Comigo estão também alguns colegas do EURES Portugal, a Ana Margarida Silva, o João Medroa, a Carmen Lopes. E, portanto, vamos estar a acompanhar os colegas da Irlanda e vamos então aguardar uns momentos. Já agora passamos novamente um pequeno vídeo sobre a Irlanda, enquanto aguardamos que mais algumas pessoas se juntem.
Boa tarde a todos também. Eu também estou a ver.
Bom, penso que então podemos começar. Entretanto, também se mais alguns interessados se juntarem, também temos todo o gosto em acolhê-los aqui da nossa sessão. Vamos conversar aqui sobre o recrutamento de educadores de infância para a Irlanda. Na verdade, chamamos-lhe educadores de infância, mas pode abranger outras áreas, dependendo do que já vamos falar depois relativamente aos requisitos do posto. Para já, íamos falar um pouco sobre as regras, digamos assim, desta sessão. Neste momento, vocês já têm, portanto, têm já microfone e câmara ativos, mas pedia-vos que numa primeira fase mantivessem os vossos microfones e as câmaras desligadas por uma questão de termos, de facto, aqui alguma facilidade ou não temos uma sobrecarga aqui na sessão. Depois, dizemos que esta sessão está a ser gravada. Também que poderão fazer algumas questões, alguns comentários no chat a qualquer momento ou pedir para falar, de preferência no final, porque vamos ter uma sessão de perguntas e respostas e, portanto, para organizarmos um pouco aqui a sessão, vamos tentar remeter, digamos, as questões para o final. Pronto, no final, então, não se esqueçam de sair da reunião e, portanto, em termos de regras, seriam estas para a nossa sessão. Relativamente à organização deste recrutamento, ele está a cargo do EURES. Dizer-vos um bocadinho o que é o EURES. O EURES é o European Employment Services, Serviços de Emprego Europeus, portanto, é uma organização, é uma rede de serviços de emprego que abrange 31 países e, portanto, tem conselheiros. Conselheiros EURES são funcionários dos serviços de emprego que, de facto, animam e dão corpo, digamos assim, a esta rede. Temos um conjunto de páginas e de informação disponível que vocês podem consultar. Fazemos imensos recrutamentos, feiras de emprego, webinars também, e temos ainda outros, digamos, outros serviços, nomeadamente o aconselhamento online. Estamos presentes nas redes sociais e deixo-vos aqui também os nossos contactos, nosso Linktree. Portanto, em Portugal somos 30 conselheiros. Neste caso temos 2 pessoas também da Irlanda a participar e a fazer a apresentação deste recrutamento. Portanto, em toda a Europa existem conselheiros EURES. Em que é que vos posso dizer? O que é que vos posso dizer mais? Vou ser a pessoa que vai estar, no fundo, do lado de Portugal, a acompanhar este recrutamento. Vou ser eu a receber as vossas candidaturas, caso estejam interessados em candidatar-se e achem e queiram entrar de facto neste recrutamento. Portanto, estou ao vosso dispor para qualquer questão. Dito isto, avisar-vos que a língua de trabalho vai ser o inglês, a partir de agora, portanto, também é uma forma de testarem o vosso nível de inglês e vamos às apresentações então da Irlanda portanto do colega do colega Gavin que vai apresentar portanto as suas condições de vida e trabalho na Irlanda. Gavin, if you may.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gavin, and I will be doing the presentation on living and working in Ireland. So if you could just let me know that you can all see it there, it'd be great. Thank you. So hello and welcome to this Living and Working in Ireland presentation. So as I said, my name is Gavin and I am a EURES advisor here in Ireland, and it's been great to be here with people here from Portugal today. And hopefully this presentation will help you make informed choices about coming to live and work in Ireland. And I know this presentation is specifically targeted at childcare, and later on we will talk specifically about childcare roles in Ireland and give you an insight into working in childcare in Ireland. So where is Ireland? So Ireland, it is the most westerly country in the EU. If you think about it, a flight from Lisbon to Dublin takes about 2.5 hours, and the distance is 1,640 kilometers. Portugal and Ireland are in the same time zone. So it's now 12 minutes past 4 in the afternoon in Portugal and in Ireland. So talk a bit about the politics of Ireland. So politically, Ireland is divided into two parts. The Republic of Ireland, which is made up of 26 counties, which is denoted there in green. And then Northern Ireland, which is made up of 6 counties and is part of the UK. And that is denoted there in red. So this is a map of Ireland. So the capital of Ireland is Dublin, which is there on the east coast. Dublin has a population of about 1.5 million people. In Ireland, then, there is 4 other main cities: Cork, which is down in the south of Ireland, Limerick, which is to the west, and Galway, which is also to the west, and Waterford, which is down there in the southeast. They're made up of populations of between 51,000 and 198,000. So Ireland is mainly made up of rural villages and towns outside of these urban areas. It has a good infrastructure with motorways and public transport linking rural and urban areas. So looking at this slide, the population of Ireland is just over 5 million. Irish people do like to go abroad to gain new experiences, and a lot of younger people do emigrate. They usually do go to English-speaking countries, though. Immigration into Ireland is the highest it has been now since 2007, and a lot more people are coming into Ireland from abroad after the pandemic. So life satisfaction is very high in Ireland. Ireland is in the top 3 in the EU for life satisfaction. And in a recent research survey, personal and work-life balance survey of 2021, 89% of people in Ireland were satisfied with their life. And we can see that here on the slide, lots of smiley faces. So overall, people in Ireland are satisfied with their life. Looking next at labour market factors. So Ireland is a young, highly educated workforce. It is the youngest workforce in the EU. Emigration in Ireland would be high, and many young people, as we've said, go abroad to gain experience in other countries. English language is spoken and first language of Ireland, and it is spoken in the workplace. Irish is spoken, but is not necessary for work. In relation to national wage agreements within Ireland, generally the amount of pay you get for working is agreed between you and your employer. Pay negotiations normally happen when you get a job offer. However, most employees are entitled to a minimum wage under the National Minimum Wage Act 2000. The national minimum wage does not stop an employer from offering you a higher wage, but you cannot agree to be paid less than the minimum wage or to do unpaid work. The national minimum wage currently in Ireland for people aged 20 and over is €11.30. So the following are areas that difficulty in recruiting for in Ireland, and there is shortages. So this presentation is specific to childcare, but other sectors that you might want to be aware of are transport and logistics, ICT, hospitality, other crafts, social care, including healthcare and care workers, healthcare, there's a large demand for healthcare, construction, science and engineering. And of course, we're talking about childcare today, and those roles are in demand in Ireland currently. So looking for work in Ireland. So when you arrive in Ireland, you may well need to go to an intro centre. So the Public Employment Service in Ireland, Department of Social Protection, we have intro centres. So this would be where you would need to come to when you do arrive into Ireland. We provide one-stop shop services and give information advice for job seekers and unemployed, and information on training for the unemployed. If you are looking at jobs in Ireland, there's websites here we recommend: jobsireland.ie, jobs.ie and irishjobs.ie. There's the EURES Ireland website is also very useful, www.euresIreland.ie. And the National Recruitment Federation is very useful website as well. On that website, they include a very useful list of recruitment agencies, and there's a search function including sectors they recruit for. So you could go in that and put in childcare, and it would bring up recruiters in Ireland that would recruit for the childcare sector. Living and working in all EU countries is also very useful, and in on that, under living and working, you can go in on Ireland and look at living and working in Ireland, and there's lots of very useful information. Just to say, these slides will be available to anyone that's on this webinar presentation today, and you can just request the same and they will be sent on to you, so then you would be able to go in through the links, which is very useful. So qualification recognition. So it's very important to have your qualifications recognised in Ireland. And this is done through NARIC Ireland. And this is a free online advice on foreign qualification recognitions. So you may well have a childcare qualification for Portugal, but we will need to check that that is recognised in Ireland and meets the specific criteria. My colleague Dora, that is on here as well, will be talking a little bit about that after this presentation. So it is important to do that, and you can do that through the searchable foreign qualifications database. You put in your qualification and it allows you to download a comparability statement that compares your academic qualification to that of an Irish qualification of a similar major award type and level on the Irish national framework of qualifications. An employer will always want to make sure that you have the required qualifications for the job, and very specifically also when coming from abroad, they need to make sure that your qualification matches an Irish qualification. Don't let that put you off. The process is quite simple, and it can be done quite easily. If the qualification is not on the database, you can submit paperwork to have the recognition checked by NARIC, and that is a good idea also to do if needs be. Under the targeted mobility scheme, which I will bring up on a slide later on as well, you can apply for assistance with getting your qualification checked by NARIC. So that can be useful if you need to do that. So I suppose a little bit of insight into CV advice. So CV formats differ from country to country, and you may need to adapt your CV according to the Irish format. So on these links here, which are very useful, you can go in and check out information on how to format your CV for Irish employers. So when you're applying, that you have it in the right format for Ireland. So you should follow a CV template in the Irish format. People in Ireland also do not include a photo on their CV. So if you are applying to employers in Ireland, we do suggest that you don't include your CV. You should keep your CV as simple as possible and limit it to a max of 2 pages and ensure that it looks, of course, professional. And a basic black and white CV is usually the best, and it really works the best for employers. So a little bit of information to know before you go or you decide to come to Ireland. So we always do recommend that you secure a job before you get on that plane and you come to Ireland. How do you do that? Obviously, you're on a presentation today here about childcare, and we can support you with doing that. You can search the EURES portal. Also, if you keep an eye on the European Online Job Day portal for job opportunities, there is regular online job events, and Ireland do have events in relation to childcare and other sectors as well, regularly ongoing. You could follow the EURES Ireland Facebook page. It's very useful, and regularly we would put up positions and vacancies available in Ireland. You could contact your local EURES advisor in Portugal before you leave the country. We would recommend that. Of course, you're more than welcome to contact an Irish EURES advisor, and you can email or use EURES chat to do that. Use personal networks. Maybe you already know people that are here in Ireland. You could make contact with them. Seek pre-departure advice on living and working issues. So you may have specific questions. You could check in with your EURES advisor in Portugal, or again in with Irish EURES advisors, and we will do our utmost to come back to you with the information that you require. The contact details to the EURES advisors can be found on the EURES portal, www.eures.europa.eu. My details, Gavin Caird, and all my colleagues' details are there as well as eures@welfare.ie, which will be available at the end of this presentation, which is a general email address, and you can send your details to that as well. So as we've said, the CV format will be different from country to country. In Ireland, there's a specific format that you would follow, and please do that. When you're coming, you need to bring relevant documents and evidence, of course, of your qualifications. For a lot of roles before you come, you will have had to do that if you've applied for a job. Of course, practice your English language skills, and remember to bring your European health insurance card to cover anything that you might need with medical problems. We've talked about the qualification recognition through NARIC. Also, you might have to bring your e-forms, your U1, which is proof of your social insurance contributions paid in your country, in this case, Portugal, or your U2, which is transfer your unemployment benefit to another EU, EEA country. So people do come to Ireland that are unemployed, but they would then get their benefit transferred to Ireland for a period of time if they're looking for work. Also, if you're working, you would want to transfer your social insurance contributions. You bring the U1 form into your local intro office, and that can be done. Also, make sure to bring sufficient funds. Now, why do we say that? A lot of people can arrive into Ireland and don't have the necessary funds maybe to meet them through for a month's time. So we have to remember in Ireland, a lot of employers pay monthly. So you should make sure that you have enough money to see you through for the first month. And this should include the cost of living. So your rent and rent deposit. You'll also have to have enough to feed you for the month. So just to make sure that you do know that. You can also apply for the Targeted Mobility Scheme relocation support. So that can be done through EURES Portugal or EURES Ireland. And I will get to a slide on that in a minute because it is a very useful fund that can be accessed by yourselves if you're looking at moving to Ireland. So the European Targeted Mobility Scheme, it's a program which offers financial assistance to EU citizens aged 18 plus in relocating for work to another EU country, Norway or Iceland. And you just do have to make sure that the work lasts for at least 6 months. So it has to be a 6 month contract or longer. You must also apply for the financial support before you leave your country of residence. In this case, you'd be leaving Portugal and before the starting date of your new job. So I would always say to people, before you step onto that plane, you need to have made sure you have applied for the Targeted Mobility Scheme. So TMS allowance, Targeted Mobility Scheme allowances. So there is allowance for interview trip allowance. So let's say you had to come to Ireland for an interview. You might have already done an online interview with an employer, and then they say, look, we'd like you to come over to Ireland for an on-site interview with us. There is an allowance available for that, depending on the country you're going to. There's also a relocation allowance, which is a flat rate reimbursement allowance of between €770 and 1,540, depending on the cost of living in the destination country. For example, someone moving to Ireland, it is 1,232. Also, we talked about there your recognition of qualifications through NARIC. So if that was needed to be done by yourselves, there is a flat rate of 440 available for that process. There is a language training allowance, so that's a reimbursement of actual costs up to a maximum of 2,200. That can either be done if you had an offer of a job before you left Portugal. You could do language courses in English in Portugal, or also when you arrive into Ireland, that can be done. But that has to be applied in a specific period of time. If you contact your EURES advisors in Portugal or ourselves in Ireland, we can talk you through the Targeted Mobility Scheme. There's also a family relocation allowance, so that's an additional relocation support of 1,232 for each of the qualifying family members traveling with the relocation applicant. So that would be whoever would be traveling with yourselves if you are moving to Ireland. So for more information, you can visit the EURES website, europa.eu. And again, we'll be sending this slides onto you on the presentation, so you can click in on these links to get to the relevant information. Or if you wanted, you could email us directly in Ireland at tms@welfare.ie, and we would follow up on any queries you have in relation to the Targeted Mobility Scheme. Sorry, I just needed to take a drink of water there. So on arrival into Ireland, what you need to do. So as a EU national, you will need a personal public service number, PPS number, to register for employment services with Intro and our social welfare, or if you are starting employment in Ireland. So if you're coming into Ireland, you're starting work, you will need a personal public service number so that you can start work. You also have to register for tax, and you would do that through revenue.ie. And you will need to open a bank account. You will need an introduction letter from an employer with exact details as per passport, driving license or passport, details of an Irish address could usually be a utility bill. We do find that most employers will help you through this process, so don't worry about that. They will talk you through it and guide you on what to do. So of course, very important, you'll be coming to Ireland and you'll probably be looking at renting a house or apartment. Landlords in Ireland usually require 1 month's rent in advance, generally require a 1-year lease. All rental agreements are legal, and it's common in Ireland to share accommodation. So a lot of people could move into a 4-bedroom house and have a room in that house, and it would be a shared accommodation. You can check the sharing option on www.daft.ie about sharing in Ireland. We also would say to talk to your employer or potential employer about that as well to help you in securing accommodation or to talk you through it. Okay, so average rents in Ireland per month are high. A 1-bedroom apartment in Dublin is 1,500 plus. A 2-bedroom apartment in Dublin is 1,400 plus. In Cork, it's 1,200, and a 2-bedroom is 1,300. In shared accommodation, a room in a house in Dublin and Cork would be about 500 plus. Cheaper accommodation can be found in smaller towns or commuter towns outside main urban areas. So more information and if looking for accommodation, you can go to daft.ie and myhome.ie. We have it here in bold and red. Talk to your future employer or local EURES advisor and ask for help with finding accommodation or advice. So do look at where you would be moving to. Talk to your employer about it. They may have contact with local estate agents and rental agents. They may also have other staff that may be available to offer a room to you. So do talk to them. We always do say that to people. Also, maybe look at would you be interested in moving outside of Dublin or Cork or one of the bigger cities? Are you looking at maybe moving to a smaller town or another commuter town where your rent would be on average a lot less than within the main cities or city centre like Dublin or Cork? So some approximate prices from a typical shopping basket. So why do we do this? I suppose just to give you an idea of the cost of living in Ireland as opposed to Portugal. So for example, in Ireland, eggs are €2.70 or milk is 97, but that's even gone up. I do see it sometimes in supermarkets where I live for €1.50. A 2-hour bus tram commuter ticket in Dublin is about €2. So yes, you may have a higher wage in Ireland, but you must be aware that the cost of living in Ireland is more than Portugal, and that is just something to be aware of. So for anyone that is a non-EU national, in order to work in Ireland as a non-EEA national, unless you are exempted, you must hold a valid employment permit. So that would be through the Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment, and they administer the employment permit system. There's detailed information available on that, and you should check it out. Currently, childcare workers and the vast majority of the hospitality jobs, with exception of experienced chefs, are at present not eligible for work permits in Ireland. So they would be on the ineligible list of occupations. So for anyone outside of the EU, that's just something to be aware of, that they are not on the eligible list. They are currently on the ineligible list of occupations. So critical skills work permit, if you have any of the critical skills listed on the eligible occupations list, you or your Irish employer can apply for a critical skills work permit. So for example, construction sector professionals, nursing and midwifery professionals are currently on the critical skill list, and you could apply for a job in Ireland if you are non-EU national. But remember, you still have to go through the recruitment process. So Ireland, so we have a temperate climate. Ireland has lots of rain. I'm looking out my window here today and it's been raining all day, but I suppose that's what makes Ireland so green. We have the youngest population in the EU. 33% are under the age of 25. International share of the workforce, the 4th highest in the EU, 17% in 2019. Ireland offers a really good quality of life. We saw that earlier where 89% of people were happy with their life in Ireland. As I said, we have a very temperate climate, lots of rain. We're English speaking. The Irish language is only spoken in some areas, but for work, English is essential. Many young people with a variety of interests, hobbies, sports, music, theatre, cinema, culture. And that's why lots of people like to move to Ireland for all of that. And as we say in Ireland, we like to have the crack. And in Ireland, the crack means that we enjoy social activity and having a good time. So hopefully that would be something that if you come to Ireland, you get to experience the crack if you're coming here to live and work. So thank you for your time and for listening to me. If you do have any questions, you can pop them there in the chat and we try and answer them or follow up with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Gavin, for this presentation about living and working conditions.
No bother. Thank you, Dora.
We will see in a few seconds some of the employers that are recruiting. So, Ana Margarida, if you may pass on the videos, please.
Just give me a minute.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Stop. Sorry, you're not listening to anything, right?
Nope.
Deputy manager here in our Salbridge Centre.
Now, can you listen?
My name
Yes.
is Michelle,
Yeah.
and I work for Giraffe, and I am the deputy manager here in our Salbridge Centre. My Giraffe journey started back in 2018. I had just came back from working in a Reggio Emilia centre in New Zealand, and I originally applied for an educator post. My CV was picked up by the HR department, who recognised my potential and my experience and offered me a position as a trainee deputy, which I did for 6 months. After that 6 months, then I was given my deputy manager position. And since then, I have worked in lots of different centres within the company, which has been really, really great. It's really helped me to gain experience of how centres run. So I find the recruitment process when I applied to be very, very easy. One of the best things about it was that they were actually holding an interview day on a Saturday, which was great, because sometimes it can be hard to get to interviews midweek, you know, especially if you're already in employment. The interview itself was really, really laid back. Like, I didn't feel under pressure at any stage. The lady that was interviewing me actually talked about her own journey, how she started off as a student here in Giraffe, and at this stage had her own centre, which was great. Big things can be, you know, ensuring that you have your police checks in place from other countries that you've lived, getting your qualifications recognised here in Ireland. But again, that process was really, really easy. They directed me to all the correct places that I needed to go to do that. And if I had any questions at all, you know, I emailed, I called, and I got a response pretty much straight away. Giraffe stands out for me really just, you know, how they recognise their staff, how they really appreciate their staff. There's a really big focus on staff well-being, and even, you know, when it comes to salary, I feel like we have a very, very competitive salary to ensure that our staff have a comfortable way of living. And even through like little bonus schemes that we do, you know, through the Employee of the Quarter, Employee of the Year, how they recognise, you know, little things in staff's lives, but also those big things. So, you know, whether that's a birthday, you know, whether it could be an engagement or a wedding, birth of their child, you know, they really, really, really do appreciate their staff. There is lots of opportunities for promotion and for growth within this company. And I think the fact that we are such a big company, there isn't just those opportunities to progress within the centre that you're currently working in. So we love to promote from within. There would quite often be promotion advertisements that would go to all the centres, so not just to the centre that is looking. So it gives people from everywhere the opportunity to have that option to step up in their career, whether that's as a supervisor, deputy manager, manager, whatever it is. And certainly my staff members, if I saw someone that, you know, I knew really, really had that passion to step up, or someone that I maybe recognised that they had that potential, but they maybe don't see that themselves, I love to help them see that. So, you know, that might just start off with, you know, given little extra job roles that maybe they could step into, extra responsibilities, you know, help them to see that potential in themselves, to gain that confidence themselves, so that whenever these job opportunities do come up, They know that they have the skill set, that they can apply for that. Although it is a big company, you're not just a number, there is that personal element as well. Recently, one of my own children wasn't doing too great, and the director of childcare actually came in on a visit, asked me how my child was by name, which kind of took me back a bit. You know, that I don't think that's something either that you would get in other companies, that personal touch.
Okay, so it's tigers, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm part of the Tigers family. I started when my youngest child was a baby. That was over 13 years ago. So she would have started off in like the preschool and went the whole way up to 6th class. My other daughter, who's 21 now, she came to Tigers as well every year. And now she has twin boys. So my grandchildren come here and they absolutely love it. It's becoming one of the great places to work. I got my degree paid for it and kind of sponsored your degree. So there's lots of perks to the job. We have this Tigers benefits and it's linked to our core values.
When I started in Tigers, I was a room leader, then I was deputy manager, and then I was a manager of the full daycare centre, and now I'm manager of an after school service. Progress is one of the things that Tigers promote. They feel very strongly about that. They promote from inside rather than hiring from the outside.
No matter what service you walk into, everyone is like a little family. It's a really, really big community of individuals with kind of shared goals and a shared ethos.
We're very open, very welcoming to new people. We want them to be comfortable here, we want them to stay, and we want everyone to be comfortable and confident within our team.
Upskilling is very important and always on offer. I've worked with so many of the staff in Blanchardstown who are now managers and deputies in other centres. There's lots of succession planning for the team to grow.
The support network through all of the centres, between the managers, between the colleagues, is fantastic, and it's a credit to the company to be able to keep that in such a large, expanding company. You will not get the support that you would receive in Tigers from any other provider that I have experienced.
One of the great benefits of Tigers Childcare is their team building days, where they'll take us all out and we'll have fun. Could be obstacle courses, or it could be a simple thing of making a meal together and sitting down for it.
There's a lot of routes for progression as well, so personally I like to know that there's ways for me to progress and learn and grow, and something that Tigers definitely offers is opportunities for progression. I had the opportunity to progress and do my degree within Tigers. They were sponsored to allow me to do my degree.
As a manager, I have an open door policy, so at any time the staff know they can just come straight to the office if they have a question, concern. I'm more than willing to go in and help and support them in the rooms.
It's a great feeling to be working as part of a team. It's a great feeling to be working with children that love you so much and don't want to leave you when it's home time.
I think childcare is one of the most rewarding positions that anybody can get involved in. Something that you'll always go home kind of feeling like you've made a difference in a child's life, be it a big impact or a small one. No matter what, you'll go home feeling like you've done something good for a child that day, I think.
The growing industry, and at the moment we're in the middle of buying 2 creches and we've a new build as well. Anytime we spot the talents, we develop them, and literally we always promote from within.
I have worked in a lot of different services throughout the years, and Tigers is one of the best places I worked in.
I would definitely recommend Tigers Childcare. I'd always say to my friends, like they were in college at the moment, come to Tigers, like you'll enjoy yourself here. Like if you're not enjoying yourself in your job now, you will here.
Ok, não sei se já estão a ver aqui. I'm sorry, maybe. Are you already seeing the leaflet about this recruitment? So we have about 13 companies like this 2 that we have seen in the videos. They need more than 100 workers for childcare professionals. And the problem, or the situation is that you will need to get your qualifications recognized before you start working in this area. There is already a lot, some Portuguese universities that have their titles recognized in Ireland for this profession. So you can see, for instance, polytechnics from Porto, Viseu, and also Lisbon University and University of Azores, Minho, and University of Trás-os-Montes already have some titles recognized. So either it is a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or other degrees. So if your qualification is not in this list, you will have to apply. And the application is very simple, but you will need some support probably to get all this filled in and with the documents that you need to present. So what we are doing here today is just to show you this recruitment and try to get your attention for this recruitment. And if you want to apply, I will be receiving your CVs. Okay, we can work on the CVs and also on this application for recognition. It is free. It takes about 4 weeks. The requirements are really the content of your qualification. So you will have to have some topics in your qualification, and you have to have some work experience with children under 6 years of age. Also, you will have to have your English, well, please have a B2, or you can show that you are comfortable with the English language. So what the companies offer, these 13 companies that are recruiting at the moment, they offer several kinds of contracts in different locations. So you can choose. It is for you to choose where you want to work. They all have different conditions, but salary, for instance, can go from 13 to 15.50 euros an hour, depending on the role and the qualifications that you have. And also, most of them have accommodation, or will help you to find accommodation. So my proposition for you, if you're interested, please write your CV in English and send it directly to me. Don't mind the date here, because I will be still doing this recruitment with our colleagues from Ireland. So I will be receiving your CVs, and we'll start from there. So what we will do, we'll see if it is your course is already listed and recognized. If not, I will help you out to do this recognition that takes about 4 weeks. From here, the companies will make different interviews, and they will see your CVs, and then you can choose where you would like to work. I hope I was clear. So I'll leave you my email at the chat, so you can apply. Oh, you have already
written it.
Oh, okay. That's perfect. And also, if you want to make some questions, we'll be happy to answer. Also, Gavin is here. He can also help out to answer some questions that you may have. So at this moment, if you want to raise your hand or just write down on the chat any questions that you may have, will be happy to answer any questions.
I think there's a hand on.
Yeah,
Gonçalo.
Yes, please, Gonçalo.
Good afternoon. I can speak Portuguese or English.
Yes, you can speak Portuguese, but it's a good training if you try to speak in English.
So, for example, for me, I don't have licensed, graduated. I have experience in work with kids in Malta, but I don't have qualification. Yes, is the correct term. But
what's your level? What's your level of academic
is
training?
Graduated, but in another hour in the port management. Okay, now with the kids. Okay, but I have experience 6 months in Malta in the.
I understand.
Okay, so I am Portuguese man. Yeah, and I would like to know if it is possible work with you.
It's not easy because you have to, because it's a recognized profession. So it is it is a regulated profession. The Department of Children, Equality, Disability, Integration and Youth Learning. Yeah, that's how you call it. They need to make sure that anyone working with the children are they have this profile, and this profile includes that you have the following topics, and I'll pass it down to the chat if I can, so you can see what is required, the topics that you have to have in your training, whatever training it is, but you have to have this, and you have to have level 5 at least. Sorry, I was trying to get here the link also. Okay, so you can all check it out. Okay, so you can ask in your university the Europass diploma, and that diploma, that is a model from Europass, will state the content of your training. That's maybe the easiest way, but if you don't have the Europass diploma supplement, you can have a list of all your qualifications written down by your university, and this will be, I think, enough for the recognition process. I also can give you the link for so you can all check it out. So this is something that has to be worked out, because there's a lot of documents and things that you may have to add to this request. So this is what you have to fill in, the application form for the recognition, and from there it will take about 4 weeks. Okay, yeah, I can send it later on and work with each of you who wants to apply, and we'll start by the CV. So if you please send me your CV, I'll take a look at that and start with this with you, okay? Any other questions?
It's still Gonçalo with a hand on.
Yeah, was it clear for you, Gonçalo? Yep.
More or less, but I understand. I will send my CV by email. Okay.
Do you have this kind of subjects in your training, in your academic training, the ones that I wrote down here? So child
yes,
development, early years theory and practice, child welfare, and practical work experience. You do have this one, the practical experience. I know you have, but the topics are important.
Okay. The certification, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I will say. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Let us just remind you that you can, Isabel. You can turn on your camera as well if you want, if you wish.
Okay, you can see me?
Yes.
Hi, Isabel.
Hello.
So, hello. I would like to ask for how long will be available this recruitment? I don't know if you told before, but it was too much information for me, and so
the childcare companies in Ireland, it's ongoing recruitment, Isabel. So it's an ongoing. So there's continuously jobs coming up. And my colleague Kathy, she works with all the childcare companies in Ireland continuously. So if you were to send on your CV and details to Dora, she can then check it and then send it on to Kathy. So it's an ongoing process. I know there was lots of information here today, and it's in English as well, my presentation and things, and you know, so there's a lot of information there. So I understand.
And can I say another question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I was thinking, like, I would like to have an experience in another country, maybe Ireland, and I'm here because of that. I think the country is interesting, and it was one of the countries that I was searching if I would have some experience not here in Portugal. So I was thinking, like, if I go there, have experience working with kids there, it will I don't know, it will make my experience will have recognition in Portugal, like being there, come back to Portugal.
You mean for your CV in future work?
Yes.
Of course, I think
of
so.
Course. Yeah.
I'm asking because here in Portugal we have opportunities working with kids, and now I'm making my internship, and it's being amazing. I love my job, and I think having experience not here in Portugal, it would be nice as well. But thinking, like, if I go, I have recognition in Portugal. I can, you know what I mean?
If the years you work there or the months that you work there will count here, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, we're in Europe, so any work, how do you say, any work that you have,
experience always is good, Isabel. So we would say in Ireland, if people go off to other EU countries, then they bring the experience back. So you could be bringing something back and different to a new employer when you come back to Portugal. So having that experience is really good for your CV, is what we would see, and especially as EURES advisors, we would see that for people and having that experience. So you'd come to Ireland, work in childcare in Ireland, that's something you could bring back to Portugal, that a Portuguese employer would go, wow, that would be really useful for us. So, and it opens your eyes as well and your experience. So,
yes.
And you're young, so you've plenty of time, Isabel.
Also, the social security that you pay in one country, you can count it for another country. For instance, if you work certain months and you in Ireland and you have right, for instance, for employment benefits, they will add to the experience or the social security already paid in Portugal. So for employment, for pension, for other issues, whatever you do in one country will be taken in account in the other country. Okay, all over Europe. Okay, so that's a plus, I think.
Yeah. And Isabel, I wouldn't let the accommodation worry you or anyone else, because a lot of the childcare employers do offer accommodation or will help you find accommodation. So don't let that worry you either. If that was something that was
I saw
concerning
only you said before, so I was not worried about that.
Okay.
I was
Good.
just thinking about the being not here and missing some opportunities here, but at the same time missing opportunities out there, you know.
Yeah. So that's something you have to weigh up, and
yeah,
that's why the likes of me and Dora are your advisors, and we help you look at that. We can coach you and support you through that. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. No bother, Isabel. Does anyone else have any questions? Or
yes, Matilde.
Elena.
Okay, Elena first.
No, it's Matilde first. You're right.
Hi. I was just wondering if you could explain a little further how the interview would work, if it would be in Ireland or here or online. I didn't understand very well.
That's okay, Matilda. So usually for the childcare jobs, what they do in our experience is they would interview you first online. So it would be an online interview. A lot of them then, if they are interested, would bring you over to Ireland to meet you. They want to see, you know, what you're like, get to meet you. But the targeted mobility scheme gives you the support there to come over for interviews. So through the target mobility scheme, you would apply for interview support, and that would include things like up to including your flight and things. So that's very beneficial if that was to happen. Now, also, I have seen where some employers, depending, would do maybe 1 or 2 online interviews and maybe have 1 or 2 different people. They mightn't bring you over in the first instance, but a lot of them will bring you over for interview.
Okay.
And that could be good for you as well, because then you get to meet people, you get maybe to see where you could be working.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one more question about the CV, because I'm in the same class as Isabel, and we haven't yet finished our master's degree. And I'm wondering if that's going to be a problem if I send now the CV and not when I end the
No
year.
problem.
No problem.
Because this will be a process, so it will take some time.
Okay.
So you can start now, because we'll go over your CV and see if there's some information missing, and understand what you will have to do to get your qualification recognized, and after that you can go from there. So this is a process. It's not like immediate.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, Matilda.
I believe Elena had her hand raised, but then Elena Margarida, yeah? Yes, Elena.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't understand one thing. I would like to know if the job offers is if only in Dublin or in Dublin and Cork or other cities of Ireland.
My understanding is, Alina, it is right around Ireland. There's lots of positions. A lot of the 2 videos you saw were for some of the bigger companies, and they would have childcare centres all around Ireland. So when it comes to it, you could maybe look, or, you know, if you didn't want to be in Dublin or Cork or Waterford or Limerick, go away. You want to be somewhere outside of that. If that's what you want, that can be looked at as well. So,
Yes.
So there's positions all around in different parts of Ireland.
Okay. I have another question. I have a first aid course that I do in Portugal. This course is valid in Ireland, or I.
For childcare, well, sorry.
You're all right, Dora. Yeah, it would depend on the nature of the course, Selena. But again, when you send all your details to Dora, we can check that out for you then. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let me just ask you one thing, Elena. It's a first aid course on top of a childcare course, or is it a first aid course exclusively?
For child.
Oh, very good.
Child specific. I have two courses, one for all and one for only child.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
This is why we have to see each case one by one, because there will be different situations, and that's why I will be your person of, well, your contact person, so I can gather all the information needed to send them to our colleagues in Ireland. Okay. Any other questions?
I want to take the opportunity. It's now in live voice.
Anyway, you have my email and also the colleagues from Ireland's email. So there's always a chance to ask for questions and look for some information. Was this useful, this session for you all?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Good,
okay.
Good. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. And I believe, just checking, Dora, we will share the
presentation,
PDF
and also
PowerPoint,
and also the job offer that I showed you. I will
eventually
update
the
it.
links we have shared during the meeting.
Yeah, they are all on this job offer.
And if it's okay with you, also the recording, so that you can go through it. And I've checked the videos that we shared for the companies, Giraffe and Tigers. On YouTube, they have subtitles in, so probably it's also possible to have them labeled in Portuguese, because you know, Irish or English from Ireland is sometimes a bit closed for someone who is starting contact. So eventually we can send you those links as well, so that you can go through them afterwards. It's just 2 of the cases of the companies, right? With whom you might work.
Quite a number
of the 13, yeah. But it's 2 good examples, so that you can have an idea on how it would be the work in Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's all for now. There are any last minute questions? Doubts? No?
Thank you. And I'm sorry because my English is a bit rusty, but I tried to make me
Don't worry.
There's no way to improve it without using it, even if you make some small mistakes in the very beginning. But I think you have to use it in order to practice and have it better. So you should use it.
I play and talk with some friends in English, so it makes me practice a little more.
Exactly. Very good. And even here today, you're trying, so fair play to you.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dora and Anna.
Thank you, Gavin and Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all the participants.